Well, I am definitely a little bit late to the party. Kizer released a bunch of new knives for October and November, and we're going to be talking all about it. So the first one is a Halloween themed version of the mini grouper. Now I'm not sure if these are still available. They came out relatively early and they're practically gone, I'm guessing, in most places. But this is a really, really cool knife. So I like the way that the blade kind of comes down a little bit. It allows the flipper tab to kind of get out of the way when you're using it for draw cutting. Kind of reminds me a little bit of the Nightshade from Vosteed. And also, like Vosteed, they are starting to use the top liner locks, which are fantastic. That is a very secure lock. The stop pin kind of sandwiches between the blade and the lock pin, and on top of that, the lock bar sits on top of the blade. So the way this is positioned is just fantastic. I really, really like the design. So you have a flipper tab, you have thumb studs, you can use a bunch of different forms of deployment. It does have that, once again, that really weird blade length between 3 and 3¼ inches. So I would have much rather had either a larger blade or one that comes in under 3 inches. But other than that, I mean, the sound is good, the action is good, multiple deployments. What more can we say? Pretty cool one from Kizer this time around. For October and November, Kizer went Militaw crazy. There's no other way to say it. Okay, and that's not surprising considering the original was so insanely popular, especially in the variation that included the DLC that was polished. So S45VN on the original titanium sub frame lock with a mill titanium pocket clip, carbon fiber. It was also really affordable, under $200, or at least around that $200 mark. So they were gone almost instantly, and even to this day, you'd be hard pressed to find one of these polished DLC variations available pretty much anywhere. And I'm sure that's going to be true with pretty much any variation. So if you do get one, make sure you get it in this, because my goodness, is that a gorgeous finish. Absolutely love it. So that's what really kicked this whole thing off. Thankfully, they decided everyone should get a chance to play around with it. So they did. They made one at a bunch of different tiers, starting at the very bottom. So a sub $60 price point for a small variation of the Militaw. They have a small and a big one, both available in D2. But the action here is still ridiculously good. Like everything that I liked about the original, I'm still getting in the budget variation, which is really amazing that they had the ability to do that. Now, I don't find that the front flipper doing it this way is as easy as there we go, as easy as the large. Let me show you what it looks like on the large. Oh yeah, much easier on the large compared to the small, but still all the same features, like still the drop shut action, the ease in which it is to deploy, just everything. So they have a bunch of different colors, a bunch of different styles. So there is the bottom tier in D2, not really a bottom tier because the performance is still really good. Then you have the mid tier in Nitro V and 154cm, and then you have a premium tier. So obviously there are going to be limited releases, limited versions of this as well. But I want to focus on the premium tier because it is a little bit different. So these are all liner locks, as you can see, which will be cost savings. And actually, I kind of like liner locks in general. They also seem to be a little bit more comfortable to me. This one is a frame lock, titanium frame lock with a mill titanium clip, kind of very similar to the original design. Has some cutouts, and this one actually comes with spare titanium hardware, like the actual frame itself. Now what they're saying is they want to do some flame anodization on it, and then you can kind of have different colors. Very cool. I think I actually might do one with an electrode and actually get a specific color at some point. But if you like this kind of thing, that is definitely an option in the premium offerings because most of them are titanium. This one is in S45VN, but I think there are also some in 20CV as well. And M3, 20CV, M390, I can't remember which one it is, but it is the same basic steel, just made in a different place. Same formulation, basically. Overall, they've done a really, really, really good job. I'm definitely excited to see this. And if you've been wanting a Militaw, but you didn't want to spend the $200+ to get the premium version, now you have something. that you can go with, and just so many different colors. But that's not all. They didn't stop there. They went ahead and turned it into a fixed blade. So let's take a look at that. Now, they didn't want anyone to be left out. Some people actually prefer a fixed blade. So they went ahead and made one that is part of the Militaw line. And not only did they make one, they made 3 different tiers once again. So we have D2 in the bottom tier. We have, and I shouldn't call it a bottom tier because D2 is still really good. You have 154 Nitro V and 154 CM and Nitro V in the mid tier. And then of course, you have a premium steel. I forget what the premium steel is they went with on this one. But the handles are surprisingly comfortable. You have a blade that's just under 4 inches. And you have a taco sheath with a proper thumb ramp. Like the actual sheath they came up with, really, really good. I'm not a huge fan of this style of clip. I never want my knives to sit that high above my belt line, but overall it is a pretty nice piece. And the fact that I don't have to move my hands, it's kind of positioned correctly with it, I like that. I like the way they have set this up. I am definitely a fan of the sheath design, and it's easy enough for me to take these off and attach an ulti clip or whatever way I wish to carry it. And I probably would carry it in pocket, although it's quite a bit longer overall than some of the ones that I usually carry. I'm curious to hear your thoughts. If you carry a blade or a fixed blade every day that is this big, or whether you prefer something smaller or not a fixed blade at all, whether you'd rather have a folding knife. I'm pretty much going to end it here. Kizer went a little crazy on the Militaws this time around. Some will like it, some won't, but I think you can't say they didn't try to make sure everyone could get one this time around. As always, thank you guys so much for your time, and we'll talk again soon.